Am I the only one who thinks that nearly every large content creator or YouTuber with a large audience are almost always either shills or left-leaning? Now, I'm not talking about the YouTubers with like 100k or 200k. I mean the ones well over like 1 million. It's like at some point, like these YouTubers sell their soul for like that YouTube money, because when you look at it, a lot of these larger YouTubers at one point were actually genuine, such as the Act Man before, he sold his soul to YouTube. The once gamer dude bro Act Man is now the Karen of the internet. But my point being is, obviously you should always trust and listen to your Latina queen over these husks of people, as I will never sell my soul for YouTube money and will forever be based. Unlike our soy boy cuck friend over here, Thor from Piratesoftware, who is claiming games aren't woke. And if we hate woke games so much, then why don't we just make our own games then?
Saying that games are ruined because woke shit in the game. I don't want those in my games. Then go make your own games.
Which is always, just a great argument, just amazing. Like, what, bro? You don't like modern day movies and you think that they're all shit? Why don't you just become a director then and direct your own movie then, huh? Like, this is actually some advanced brain rot autism, which we shouldn't really expect any less from an ex-Blizzard employee. Like, let's just be honest here. But yeah, I actually saw this video from What the Egad a while back, and I thought I could add on to it, as his video was incredibly short, and I needed another video in between my last one and my upcoming Silent Hill 2 review video. I could have been like Yellow Flash, or any of these other right-wing slop tubers and upload a video on some bullshit news story or post on Twitter that nobody cares about and blow it out of proportion. But your Latina queen, is better than that and only uploads slop videos, sometimes and not all the times.
Real talk.
But on a real note, I just want to shout out everybody who has been watching my channel, liking and commenting. I've gained almost 500 subs in the past month, which is an insane amount. My Latina Kingdom is growing at an astonishing rate. My Latina empire is rising, and soon we will be too big to stop, and we will take down all these woke activist companies one by one. They shall crumble. But for real this time, let's cut the bullshit and see what our soylent guzzling friend Thor has to say about gamers and woke games.
Are just saying that games are ruined because woke shit in the game. Stop playing those games then.
Well, if we're going to be honest with ourselves here, people did and have stopped playing those games, and that's why they are all flopping, and companies like Ubisoft are on the verge of bankruptcy if We Was Kang Shadows doesn't, sell well. Also, this may sound like a crazy concept, but you do realize we can choose not to play these slop games and also complain about them. You also really gotta love how he's doing those air quotes, trying to imply that games aren't woke. That's how you know we're dealing with a fucking special individual here.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah. Literally. Why are you playing games that you're mad at? Just go play other games.
Again, we do just play other games. Has Thor really not seen the player counts of games like Dustborn, Concord, and Suicide Squad? Surely he has. Oh wait, never mind. I forgot he was actually somehow defending Concord and their shit character designs while not addressing the elephant in the room.
Design was very ugly. I think that's always going to be subjective. I don't think it's easy to say something like that, be like, the character design is ugly. It's no, you think the character design is ugly.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Yeah, definitely. We just think the character design is ugly. We are all just wrong, and the ex-Blizzard employee who definitely isn't a shill and fence setter is, correct. Yeah, okay, little bro, who are you trying to fool, really? Again though, this is the thing with these centrist fence setters. They will never actually ever address the main issues.
You didn't like it for you. There's some things in here that people did like, right? There were some people that are actually talking about the game and said that they thought it was cool.
C-A-P
No, we know the character design is ugly.
I think it's the color composition. I want to look at the rest of the characters because I want to see what was going on with this. Some of these actually look kind of cool. Like this one, totally fine color composition.
Bro is really trying to cope hard for Concord. That's hilarious. I mean, maybe he's not wrong though, since 697 NPCs bought this game on Steam. But for real though, nobody thought this game was cool. I haven't ever heard or seen a single person claim anything like that about Concord. But wait, it gets better as we'll see him actually say some of the designs are good.
This character design, dramatically better. Way, way better color composition. Purple and gold always works really well together. Silver hair works really well, especially when you have an older character.
In what world does our gilf over here look fine. That purple, gold, and silver does not look good. Not to mention, you really gotta love how he's strictly only talking about the color composition, not the actual characters, because even he knows they are dog shit. So he's trying to beat around the bush by saying, oh well, dude, in my 10th grade, art class, I learned that purple and gold is actually like good color composition and shit. So therefore, like, the Concord character designs are like actually good and like aren't actually bad. Again, this is the problem with fence sitters.
Like, looks fine. And then you flash this against this. That character design makes no sense to me. That's all over the place in terms of color composition. All of it is clashing heavily with itself. So like, you do have some characters that color theory-wise look correct, and then ones that just don't. And purple and more orange, like beige and bright lime green, it's just like, that's too many colors to make it distinguishable. It becomes a mess.
You know a character design is absolute dog shit when even Thor cannot in good faith defend it.
The character design makes no sense to me. That's all over the place in terms of color composition. All of it is clashing heavily with itself.
Again, beating around the bush, avoiding the elephant in the room. It's not because these characters are ugly and developers are going out of their way to wokeify video game characters. It's because of the color composition, dude. Which, yes, the color composition on most of them are dog shit. However, but he's very clearly not being genuine in the reason to why they are bad, and is trying to say it's just the color composition.
Some of them are also really imaginative. Like, they've got a character in here that kind of looks like this. This one, I think, color-wise is kind of fine.
Yeah, I think we all get the point now, and we really shouldn't listen to what some bozo ex-Blizzard employee is trying to lecture us about.
I just fucking... Real talk.
These clown-ass game devs are not our friends and are not on our side. Well, most of them at least. The Kingdom Come developers seem highly based and Giga Chad pilled, but yeah.
Literally. Why are you playing games that you're mad at? Just go play other games.
We can be mad at these games when they are constantly putting out propaganda like uglification of women or gender politics in a game that's, supposed to be taking place in or around medieval times. Why are we injecting current day politics into games set in the past? Am I just like supposed to be content with this? Am I just supposed to let you pour me another bowl of these together with Pride Fruit Loops and scarf them down like the fat pig subhuman that I am? Or do I say enough is enough? I'm tired of this gay bullshit, and I pick up that bowl of rainbow Fruit Loops and I toss them at the bug people, feeding me this slop. And Minecraft, of course, because I would never condone violence because, that's like mean or some shit.
There's millions of games in the market. Steam is infinite games, dude. Like, there's so many goddamn games to play. And I think that kind of a argument is deep nonsense.
What argument is deep nonsense? Complaining about woke games? That's not an argument, that's a statement. It's like if I were to say, I like chocolate ice cream, and then Piratesoftware over here is like, oh, bruh, I think that your argument is like deep nonsense. Like, motherfucker, I'm not arguing anything. I'm just saying I like chocolate ice cream, which I don't know why so many Zoomers look up to this guy, but like, especially on YouTube Shorts, I constantly get his videos in my feed, and it's like all of his 12-year-old fans just sucking him off. Piratesoftware, like many other leftists or even centrists, they never invest much points into the intelligence attribute, which I don't know about you, but for me personally, whenever I hear somebody say or call themselves a centrist, the only thing I can ever think of is fence sitter, or liberal pretending to be in the middle, just to try and give themselves a better image, or seem less biased when they decide to talk shit about the right. Like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like all centrists are like that.
Because I think that's really funny is a lot of people don't remember the history of games.
I remember the history of games, as I literally just made a 30-minute video showcasing the timeline of women in gaming up to present day. So unfortunately, your bullshit leftist tactic won't work on the Latina queen, but nice try.
They don't understand that 10, 15 years ago, you had basically two body models. You had the beach babe body model, and you had the buff man body model.
That has got to be one of the most disingenuous things I've ever heard. Really, 10 to 15 years ago would only be 2015 or 2010. We only had two body models, Beach Babe and the Buff Man. Also, before I even get into this point, like, what's wrong with that in the first place though? Like, really? Wow, it's not like video games, which are supposed to or were originally meant to be fun and not a reflection of real world current day politics. We are all just incels, you guys, because we only want strong buff men. That's like, toxic masculinity, dude. And we as the tough buff men only want, the attractive beach babes. Like, let's be real though, who would pick the ugly bitch over an attractive one if given the chance? Unless you're like gay or something. If you had the option to pick a slim 100-pound petite Latina babe or a 400-pound Shaniqua, let's be real, nobody is picking the land whale, okay? Like, let's just be honest. But you know, I'm an incel for saying that, as I constantly get those comments every day. But to actually address his point about only 2 body models, that it's just objectively wrong. We had tons of games with characters of different shapes and sizes back in the day. The difference was they weren't fucking hideous. Like, me personally, I didn't know characters like Mario and Luigi were buff men, or that someone like Miss Pac-Man or Isabella from Animal Crossing were beach babes. I mean, I guess to Thor though, body models can only be applied to humans and nothing else.
And that was it. And there were a bunch of people who were like, hey, this game doesn't showcase a character model that I can identify with in any way.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that. Literally nobody back in the day was ever claiming when they played video games or were ever even thinking, oh yeah, you know, oh my god, you know, this game is like really good, you know, but like what it's really, you know, missing is like my representation, dude. Like that virtue signaling bullshit was barely even a thing back then. Not to mention the gaming audience was primarily straight white men, meaning none of them were asking for women to be uglier. Like, let's be honest. Just like none of them were asking men to become cucks who need to be saved by the strong women and to be emasculated. This shit didn't become a thing until around the, you know, early 2010s with like the hag Anita Sarkeesian and the Me Too movement. This body representation thing did not exist. Like, I can't identify with this body model, dude.
It doesn't showcase a character model that I can identify with in any way.
Shut your bitch ass the fuck up!
He's literally pulling the same thing these leftist dumbasses in video games are pulling, with introducing identity politics into games set way before modern times.
And people said, oh, go make your own games then. So they did. And now you're getting games that have those in them.
Well, the thing is, nobody wants these games that have identity politics and uglification of women in them. That's why people are mad and complaining about it. Does it make sense now, little bro? Do you get it now? Cause I sure get it. We understand that you're a shill with no actual soul or morals.
And now people are saying, well, I don't want those in my games. Then go make your own games.
Such a stupid argument. Again, the problem isn't the people who were complaining back in the day about my body representation. The problem is activists have infiltrated the gaming companies and have fired all the creative talent, including the white dudes, for incompetent people who have more melanin in their skin than the white guys. And we all know the exclusion of whites is, you know, true diversity, am I right? Not to mention the other problems such as BlackRock funding these dogshit games, or companies like Microsoft and Embracer Group buying up everything to wokify them, because nothing quite screams I'm gonna go make my own game like taking somebody else's existing property or game and then race swapping all the characters and making everybody part of the Rainbow Brigade. Am I right? Maybe I am just an incel though, who knows? If me having a brain and not eating the spoon-fed slop served to me by these degenerate companies makes me an incel, then I think incel might be more of a positive than negative. Either that, or maybe it's changed its meaning in the past few years, because I don't think it's a bad thing at this point then. But yeah, stay based and don't let these cucks brainwash you into their ideologies. Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments I received on my last video about the downfall and uglification of women in video games from the 1980s up to 2025. Since that video blew the fuck up and is nearly at 10k views already and has almost 500 comments, which is just absolutely insane, and almost 1k likes. I'll be checking out some hate comments, as some leftist soyboy cuckolds weren't very happy to see the based Latina queen call out modern shit games. But yeah, let's read some lovely comments, shall we? First off, we got Siri saying, bro, just because you want to goon over every female character doesn't mean that all women in gaming have to be supermodels. There's also women who play these games and they also want to relate to main characters, you know? Yeah, that's one stupid take, but we can tell just by looking at his picture, he has an absurdly high amount of estrogen in his bloodstream. So I reply with, wow, it's almost as if women also want to play as attractive characters and not amorphous blobs. Crazy concept, I know. Which I don't know which soyboy fucks are liking his comments, but I know it isn't my Latina Kingdom doing that shit. 2 likes is way too much. He responds with, a lot of them apparently don't, otherwise these modern characters wouldn't be made, and male characters have always been unattractive, but somehow nobody has ever cared too much. Like, bro, do I really need to make a video about the history of male characters and compare them with the estrogen estrogen-filled modern day ones now? Like, do I have to do that? I can do that if you want me to, okay? I respond with, these modern characters are being made because of activist diversity hires, but keep chugging that Soylent like a good little boy. And no, male characters were never ugly, but nice try. Maybe being disingenuous will work on subhumans like your kind, but it won't work on me. Then he responds with, it's funny how people like you can only answer with lies and insults once confronted with reality. Well, that's what happens when you aren't a real person. You don't get actual rights. Me and you are not the same. I am based in the queen. You're a bug who squirms. Get on my level, peasant. Kuga Courage X6093. Dude, just say you have a corn addiction, because, you know, wanting to play as attractive women is me, you know, being addicted to corn, apparently. Downcast Warrior with, bro is so blind to all the great games that came out, crying emoji. Sexy character design is not the only aspect in video games, and calling Senora with Alloy ugly is extremely degenerate as well, by the way. I feel like Down Syndrome Warrior might be a better name for you, but it isn't the only aspect, and I never claimed that it was. However, it is one of the bigger reasons to why gaming has been dying. The other reasons is obviously the dog shit, repetitive, uninspiring gameplay, and all the soulless remasters and remakes. Also, no straight man with a straight face can tell me Senua is actually attractive. This is by far one of the ugliest creatures in gaming. Okay, let's be honest. Shirley says, but what if they're not trying to make their female characters ugly, like adding peach fuzz to them? Are these videos just so neckbeards get mad at a female character having one bit of hair on her face? Which, there's a difference between having a single strand of hair on your face, okay, and having an entire fucking beard like Alloy does, alright? But Based Parfait responds with, "Low bro, if you don't think Alloy from Horizon Forgotten West isn't ugly, go see an eye doctor or increase your standards." This might be my favorite comment by a man pathetic. This video's conclusion is only women I can fap to deserve to be called women, and somehow that's all that gaming is about. Few good points, but overall a ridiculously immature sexist take, cause me not being attracted to land whales and ugly people is now sexist. Maybe my sexuality is that I'm only attracted to beautiful people like Latinas. Why are you hating on my sexuality, bro? But he further says, I agree there's an argument to be made for the uglification of female characters, but if your point of reference is that every girl should just wear a skimpy bikini like a Dead or Alive volleyball character that somehow makes for a better game, or that the new Kratos is some beta because he behaves maturely, bruh, there isn't anything mature about modern day Kratos. Being a cuck who lets women beat the shit out of you isn't being mature. That's just called being a beta cuckold. They pussified Kratos, the literal god of war, because they hired Sweet Baby, a consulting group, to work on that dog shit game and to make it more inclusive, diverse, and obviously gay. He further says, you clearly have a lot to learn in life, and asking women are the problem is a very bad precedent, for you came from a woman yourself. Your own mother would Your own mother would be ashamed if this is all you have thought of women. I understand where your rage is coming from, but you sound like a basement dweller incel in this entire video. Oh no, you guys. A mapathak, which sounds a lot like I'm pathetic, is calling me a chud incel, and like we came from women, so we should all worship women. It's over, Latina sisters. Pack up your bags. It was a good run while it lasted, but your Latina queen is unfortunately ending her career after I'm Pathetic just exposed her in 4K. Goodbye, Latina sisters. It was nice knowing you.